Everybody wants to be, but nobody wants to do. Girl, it's time to be real, raw, and relentless. Everybody wants to be, but nobody wants to do. You know it's time.
Recrown you.
What's up, guys? It's your girl, Truly Inspired Martin, and welcome to another episode of the Recrown You podcast. We are here for the women who are ready to be real, raw, and relentless in their pursuit to unleash their inner badass. So what does that mean for you? That means that you are a woman that has gone through things and you know what, you like, I don't really want to deal with them, but I think it's time. You're the woman that says, I don't know what's ahead of me, but I'm willing to go ahead and take this ride to be the best version of myself. You're the one that's probably tired of everybody feeding you a bunch of bullshit and you're ready for the real. That is what we are here for on Recrown You. We are here to peel back the layers for the millennial women to really embrace every part of her and to really get our lives right. I am so excited about today's episode, as I am every episode, because listen, y'all, I be vetting these people. All right. Some people probably get mad at me because I don't respond to every email because some stuff just don't fit with who I am and what Recrown You stands for. If you're not going to be real, if you're not going to be raw, this ain't the place for you. I want women, men, guests, whomever to come on here and really teach you some stuff or give you a piece of them that will eventually lead to you unleashing your inner badass. And that's what we are here for. So we are in the third quarter, baby. Oh my God, this year is flying away. But that doesn't mean that you just got to get upset about the things that you probably have not achieved, right? So quarter three is time to buckle down and get right. So this month we're talking about all things just getting right in all different aspects of your life. Money is a big deal. We try to act like, money, money is not everything. Money is the root of all evil. Rather, I heard money was the root of all evil, but without money, there's a lot of things that you can't do, right? Let's keep it real. There's a lot of things that you just can't do. And we got to have the right mindset and the right information and resources on how to act accordingly in order for money to really do what it's supposed to do in our lives, right? But y'all know how I start every episode, right? So let's get into some statistics, baby. So 62% of millennials say they are living paycheck to paycheck. Hello, guilty, been there, done that, right? I realize that sometimes you can feel like you're getting paid so much money, but the way life is set up and the way we try to live our lives, it just does not make sense, right? Like, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I'm trying to pay this. I'm trying to do that. I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like, I think we all can attest to being there at least once in our lives, right? So it's like almost 2/3 of millennials say that they're living paycheck to paycheck, and only 38% feel financially stable. Like, ugh. Like, who doesn't want that sense of stability, right? They tell you to go to college, get a degree, get a good job, you'll be good, money will be flowing, blah, 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 right? But does it ever always work out that way? Like the old school way of how to make sure you stay financially stable, I'm sorry, it does not feel like it is today's word of the day, right? That's just not how it works. So we have to start putting in new processes, new ways to really make sure that we set ourselves up for success and our children's children up for success, right? So I don't know if you knew, but together millennials spend $600 billion in the United States each year. Billion. Okay, we got hella buying power, but our money and where we're putting it might just not be really yielding a return, right? So, but y'all know I ain't no financial expert. Let me stop playing with y'all. I just love statistics and I love the foundation and the backing behind everything. So instead of me trying to give y'all all the juice, because y'all know I'm not an expert in this, right? I decided to bring somebody who is. right? So today, let me tell y'all a little bit about my guest because I get excited. Today I have Vestria Agee. She is the owner of the Fiscal Forum LLC. She teaches millennial women how to gain time freedom through financial freedom. Honey, how many of us would love a little bit of time back? I'm sorry, that is one of the most precious things that I have in my life is my time. Okay? Don't waste my time. I waste a couple dollars before I waste a couple minutes. You feel me? And she is here to show us how to do a little bit of that. Today's topic is millennial women and money. And I am so excited to bring this queen to the forefront. Vestria, you here with me, girl?
Can you hear me?
I hear you. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am amazing. I'm excited about today's episode because we got the financial expert in the building.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's go ahead. Let's jump right in here. So tell us about you, and also I want to know a fun fact that nobody knows about you.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Nobody?
Nobody.
Okay, let's see. So my name is Vestria and I am the fiscal architect. Fiscal architect, what does that mean? That means that I design practical roadmaps that teach millennial women how to budget, plan, and save their income in order to create long-term wealth and lifelong confidence in their money management skill set. Now, fun fact about me, when I was younger, and this is probably gross, especially for a female, but when I was younger, I used to burp the ABCs from A to Z, and I thought it was so cool. I thought it was the thing.
Ew.
Hey,
I'm here for it. Shoot, y'all heard it here. She burps, y'all. She burps. Like that. But that is so amazing. So, okay, so what made you get into this arena? Because come on, like I like to count money, but I don't like to get into money. So, what got you here?
Gotcha. So I am originally from a single parent household. And my mom was really, really big on just making sure we had everything we need. The wants and stuff, sometimes they kind of got put on the back burner depending on how much time and availability she had. I mean, single mom, working over and beyond full time, still trying to get, to the after school program to pick me up, still trying to make sure that we're good. She gave me everything I needed and a little bit of what I wanted. But as soon as I was old enough to make my own money, that was what I did. So, I mean, from selling frozen cups and pickles, I would walk to Food Depot. I don't know if you guys know what Food Depot is, but I would walk to Food Depot and in one hand, I would have a jar of pickles. In the other hand, I would have 1,000 different Kool-Aid packs and a pound of sugar. And I would sell that like throughout the summer. Through doing that, I had to figure out how to set hours because people were coming to the house all hours of the day and night. But whatever it took for me to have my own money, that was what I was going to do. So I started doing that maybe at like 14 or 15, transition into working, transition into going to college. And like you said a little bit earlier, they told us, go to school, get a good job, and the blessings will come, right? The blessings do not flow automatically. All right.
Hello.
They do not. They do not. I went to school for accounting and I did it because I was good at it. I liked the numbers. I liked being in the banking industry. I liked being in the financial industry, but it was just something, it was something that I was good at. Didn't really want to go to school, undecided. So that's what I went for. And I got really intrigued with trying to figure out how to help people just kind of manage their money, how to come away from that poverty mindset. But during that time, I was terrified of the options that were available to me. I tried finding a professional job in all over. I went to school in South Georgia, so all over South Georgia, I couldn't find anything. I was either overeducated or underqualified. And the only option I could find then was, I can't remember the name of the company, but essentially you learn to be a financial advisor. You have a market share of a community and you pretty much go door to door and scout for business. I was terrified to do that. So I went the traditional route, got a job, and just worked and tried to make my way however I could. A lot of things happened in between, but for the sake of time, flash to last year. Last year, I was actually en route to starting a travel business as a travel agent. And as I'm talking to this coach, this mentor, she's, working with me, and she's like, well, how are we going to niche down what you want to do? And I was like, I really want to mix travel and money. So she's like, well, what is it that you know about money? So I started telling her different things about stuff I've paid off. I've paid off nearly $50,000 worth of debt before I turned 30. Just from budgeting, saving, and planning alone. That was like, just grinding it out. Like that is just my skill set. She was like, girl, skip the travel part. Do that later. Like that's fun. You have a skill.
I was just about to say we are not about to slide over you paying off that 50 grand like that.
She was like, you have a skill that people want and need. And I'm like, yeah, I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I was kind of scared and kind of nervous. She was like, no. Go with your skill set, boo. Do that. That part. So since then, I have just been coaching one-on-one and building a platform to be able to share different financial education tips, tools, and strategies that I've learned along my process with millennial women just like you and I.
Oh, first of all, I had another question, but I got to backtrack for a second. So okay. you paid off $50,000, right? Some people got a problem paying off $500. So $50,000. What did that look like for you? Like how? Why did you even do it? Yeah.
So after graduation, I told you couldn't find a job in my skill set. I couldn't find an accounting job. Even I was working at a bank, and they would not hire me beyond the teller and customer service level because they said they didn't have space. But then they hired interns, like somebody's cousin from the outside, and it was like, oh yeah, she's an intern, it'll be great. I was like, okay, I gotta leave here because y'all are disrespecting the fact that I want to work with you. Just right. Gotta go. And I said I had done a program after graduation where I got to travel. I love to travel. If you ask me where all my money goes, like all my excess, travel and food. But we'll come back to that. I love to travel. So I had done a program after graduation that allowed me to travel around the world and work with kids. And at this point, I had graduated from school. I had graduated for like a year. Like I said, couldn't find a job. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back and do that program. That program will pay me a stipend. It'll allow me to be in school. And I'm going to keep deferring these student loans until they hire me or until I find a job. But I also applied for a job at the same time. And I just happened to get an interview, just happened to get hired. And I got hired there instead of, I had a choice to make. Did I want to go to Germany and spend 6 months in Germany living on a stipend? Or did I want to start a career, find some financial stability, and just really work on paying my student loans? So after that, I could do whatever I want. And I chose the job. Chose the job. So with that, I just said, okay, these are my needs. I need insurance. I need this, that, and the third. I need to save something in case of emergency. I had to move to Virginia to take the job. I'm from Georgia. I moved to Virginia to take the job, and it's like, okay, what can I do with this job? So I started saving, and I started paying my student loan. Before I quit my job, I started on the debt repayment program or the income-based repayment program. Mm-hmm. Because where I was working before at the bank, I was making less than $20,000. What it equated to was less than $20,000 a year. Whoa. Could not afford to pay it even if I tried, let alone stay there but anyway. So I was still on the debt repayment program or the income-based repayment program. Because I was getting ready to leave to go to Germany, that gave me the 6 months of deferment because they had already enrolled me in school. They had to disenroll me. So that gave me a little bit of time and a little bit of buffer to just kind of start paying however I could afford to pay. And then as that started flowing, I started adding a little more money, a little more money, a little more money to what I was paying. Over time, my goal, because the job was like a 2-year internship with a raise every year for 2 years. So I was like, okay, if I can keep my expenses low, like my housing, my utilities, all that stuff, I cut my cable off. I didn't have cable anyway, but I wasn't pressed to get it because that's another bill that I don't need.
Right.
I just lived comfortably, but below my means as much as I could, so I could pump extra to my student loans. When I got a income tax refund, I pumped that on my student loans. So after a while, I'm like, man, I only have XYZ amount left. If I just go ahead, I'm saving too, right?
Yeah.
If I just go ahead and pay this off, I'll be done. Like, I don't have to drag this out. You have the money, you save the money, just pay it off. So I took the money that I used for one student loan. After I paid that off, I rolled that whole amount into the other student loan, and I just started paying really aggressively. I was paying it like a house payment until I paid it off.
Oh, that takes discipline.
It does.
That takes real discipline, because I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like, I ain't in no rush to pay these student loans off. Okay, like I'm about to share some dirt with y'all real quick. I got maybe about a smooth $138,000, maybe a little bit more than that, in student loans. Because I did start my master's twice. Right, I started my master's twice, and then I'm like, "Yo, do I really want to do this?" I'm not sure if this is like. I graduated from Clark Atlanta University with a bachelor's in criminal justice. Okay, boom. Then I'm like, okay, let me go try to, because I was still in that mindset of criminal justice. So I'm like, let me go try to do a master's degree in forensic psychology. I did like a semester, maybe a semester and a half, and I was like, oh, nah. I don't know if it was the school that wasn't cool, or I just was like, this is just not for me. Then I stopped. Then I picked it up again. Then I went back to college, and I'm like, you know what? I don't really need this for the direction that I'm going right now. So now I done compiled all this student loan debt. And every time I look at it, I'm just like, how? Because they tell us that in this lifetime, we're not really slated to repay these loans. So you start trying to find all these ways on how to get out of them. So for you to actually have that type of structure, that type of discipline to aggressively pay off $50,000 in debt, that makes you an expert all in itself. Okay.
It's definitely a process, and there are sacrifices to be made, but it doesn't mean that you can't have fun. It doesn't mean that you can't, do stuff with your friends and your family. You just have to change your mindset. So more than anything else, I believe that budgeting, saving, and planning are the basis for all financial education. But the overarching umbrella of all of that is money mindset. For example, if you're not in the mindset where you recognize that something needs to change, then you're not going to make a change. Just because you are in the company of people that are doing different things with their money doesn't mean all of a sudden it's going to rub off on you. You have to have a conscious mindset to want to make some changes with your money in order for the process to even start. And then once you start getting that mindset, you have to continually, rev yourself up, amp yourself up, have a reason why you're doing this. Like for me, I knew I did not want to work somebody's 9-to-5 forever and ever and ever. That just wasn't my life. It's like if you have statistics about the way stuff is traditionally done, I'm a type of person where I'm like, no, not me. I went to the financial counseling that they tell you to go to before you graduate from school.
Yeah.
And they explained that the student loans are scaled to be paid off within 10 years from when you graduate from college. So that's why when people, depending on if you have a little bit of student loans, then your pricing is one thing. If you have a lot of student loans, and it's something completely different, and you see your first student loan payment, it's like $800,
right?
However many hundreds of dollars. Like, I can't afford this, because the system already has in mind that they want you to be able to pay this off within their timeline. But for me, it's like, oh, mortgage, 30 years? Definitely not me. Let me get that 15 years. Let me get that 10 years. Or even
Yeah.
if I don't set it up that way, then it's like, I want to beat your statistic
Yes.
financially.
It's
a
strong.
mindset thing. It's a
That
mindset
is.
shift.
That's big. That's big. A lot of stuff comes back to your mindset. And what do you think one of the biggest mistakes millennial women make when it comes to money? I know I be throwing some things out there.
It's hard. I think that I'm just gonna throw one out there. I'm just gonna say the YOLO, like you only live once.
Oh, girl, that was me, girl. YOLO.
The you only live once mindset.
Yeah.
I think that is probably one of the most dangerous. And I'm not throwing shade. I've been there.
Yep.
Because even beyond the debt repayment or the debt payoff, there's always another level.
Yes.
There's always another level. After I paid off my student loans and continued to accrue debt and work on paying that down, masters, car, different stuff like that, you get paying off your student loans because it feels like such a burden on your shoulders.
Yeah.
There is such a free, like, flowing spirit that just evolves out of you when you pay something off.
Yes.
You just feel like a whole new person, just like clean, like so fresh and so clean. You just feel really good. And then it's like, well, I deserve a treat. And whatever motivates you is what you are likely to gravitate towards. For me, it's travel and it's food. Like, I like a good meal, or I like to cook good food, or I like to go overseas. That's what I love to do. So it's like, oh, you want to travel? Yeah, girl, I'm down, whatever. But if I'm doing all this traveling and I'm not mindful of my savings and the other things as far as my money management, it's easy for that to get out of control. The same thing with purses, the same thing with shoes, the same thing with cars, the same things with whatever tickles a woman's fancy. It's easy for it to get out of control, let alone doing it before you get debt free.
Ugh.
It's a setup for a setback.
Ooh, that's a setup for a setback. You ain't never lied, because I used to be on that real. I learned probably maybe about 7 years ago, like, I can't be on this YOLO stuff. I'd be like, man, listen, I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. I'm about to go do this today, and that put me in places of, dang, where did my money go? Or now I can't pay this, or it's always that mindset of, damn, I don't have enough, and you really did, or you really do, but you're just not budgeting right?
Yep.
Woo.
Not budgeting, or you haven't seen it on paper in black and white.
Girl, don't nobody be trying to write them numbers down.
I know. Because it gets ugly really fast. Me and in my household right now, we are restructuring our budget, and we kind of looked at the numbers and we were like, wait, we could have been doing what now?
Right.
We're living life wrong. And it just goes to show you that nobody is perfect. Nobody has the game sold up. Everybody had to go through their respective journey or their respective process to get to where they are now, specifically as it pertains to financial freedom and money mindset. So it's a process, but the hardest part is getting started. But once you get started, get somebody to help you, it flows. I promise you. It may be uncomfortable because it's new, but it flows, and it's so worth it.
I love it. So let's break down some strategy real quick, because we want them to walk away with something they can go do right now. Because this conversation is always real uneasy, right? Don't nobody want to talk about money. Like, girl, get out my pocketbook, right?
It's emotional. Money is emotional.
Yes, girl, put you in the corner, crying little eyes out, like you don't know what to do, right? But there are ways to strategize, right? So, what are things that you can implement for people today, like some strategies that maybe they can take away today and start a game plan towards a better financial posture?
Okay, cool. So number one, I would say to give your money a role to play. just like a movie, just like a television show, you have actors and everybody plays their part, right?
Yes.
With your income, if you give your money a role to play, that means assign it a role and let it know what it's supposed to be doing. Is this $10 supposed to be for food, or is this $10 supposed to be for gas? Is this 100 supposed to be for student loan payments, or is it supposed to be for shoes? Take your income and break your income down into into the categories that apply to your lifestyle. Starting first and foremost with your savings, your debt, and then everything else. If you pay yourself first, set aside an amount out of your income, out of your paycheck, and say, okay, I'm going to put $100 in savings. Let that come out off the top. If you wait to the end to try to take your savings out, there won't be anything left to save. Take the savings off top. Then we're looking at debt. How much can we afford to pay or repay on our debt? Are we making our minimum payments? Do we have some buffer left over to bump those payments up? If so, let's go ahead and do that. Let's not buy those shoes. Let's not go on that vacation. I know I will be there with you. I promise you. I will be on the plane with you, eating the peanuts and, drinking the juice. I would. But if we have some debt to repay, let's put that first. Let's prioritize. And give your money a role to play. Let me make it simple. The more that your income is broken down into dollar values where you already know how much is going for what, how much money is dedicated to what, the more you can put your money on autopilot and everything just flows where it needs to flow. And then you know exactly how much you have left over as disposable and how much you have to spend on your play or your fun money. Because that's what we're really worried about. We don't want to miss out on the YOLO. We want to make sure we have something to still have fun and still live our best life.
Yes.
But categorize those funds first. Set them on auto pay and then roll from there.
Oh, child, that you just said auto pay, right?
Yeah.
And my heart just started fluttering.
Auto pay, allotments. I'm literally getting ready to go set up allotment tomorrow for savings. I'm getting ready to revamp my savings with the new allotment. But with the allotment, so an allotment is an amount of money that comes directly out of your check, just like your insurance or your taxes come directly out of your check before it even hits your account. An allotment allows money to come directly out of your check before it hits your account. So what you can do is you can set up an allotment to go directly to your savings account. So you don't even have to worry about, oh man, I got $1,500 right now. I need to put that 100 in there, but I need this for something else.
Yeah.
Go ahead and set that up as an allotment so it goes directly in your savings account. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 and spend it on YOLO. Put it in an allotment and send it to your savings account.
So that's like that little box that you check on your W-9 forms or where you can does some of this money, like you can allot a certain amount that goes.
Right.
Okay.
So
yeah.
If you have any question, if you work a 9 to 5, if you have any question about allotment, you can always talk to the person in your office or at your job who does all the
payrolls,
payroll. That you can talk to them about how to set up an allotment. They should be able to walk you through it relatively easy. If you are in a job where they don't allow you to set up an allotment, then that's where we would want to do the auto pay.
Whew. Listen, one thing I used to realize is that when I used to auto pay and have my bills on auto bill and eco bill or whatever they want to call it these days, stuff would get paid on time. Nothing would be behind. I wouldn't be in debt. But there's it's like the millennial in me is kind of just like, ooh, I don't want nobody being able to just automatically touch my money.
Scary, right?
It's like fear. Like, hold on. You want to take $5? No. I need that $5. And mindset though, that's the mindset, and that's the difference, because I forgot exactly what the statistic was, but I remember reading something. I think it's like 20 in the year 2055. I don't want to say 2025. I think it's 2055. Like we're slated as African Americans to be at a net worth of zero. Like zero, like that. Yeah, like I laughed when I saw it, because I'm like, yo, who made this nonsense up, right? But it's like, I'm like, no, this is real. Like, I think it was like on Forbes or something. It was like a real article, right? Real publication. And I'm like, and that's not the first time I've heard that. The way that we spend, the way that we don't recirculate our money, the way we don't pay off our debt, the way we don't view money correctly is the reason why we're going in that direction. And I think this type of conversation right here needs to be had, so it can open up this kind of stuff to say, you know what? Ooh, my money is a little funny because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do with it.
Right.
God bless people like you, honey, because I do not like to talk about money, and not in that way. It's very uncomfortable. Oh, it's uncomfortable. Auto pay is uncomfortable. Paying off debt is uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. But this is what I found. When I paid off my debt, I found that I had more time, and I looked at time differently. Because while I still work a 9 to 5, and I still have to take leave when I go places and things like this, I'm not worried about if I have to take leave, is that going to be, detrimental to my family, or am I going to need that for some emergency?
Right.
Because I'm building myself up financially so that if I have an emergency, nothing's going to stop me from taking care of what I need to take care of with my family. If it's a money thing, if I don't have any more leave, again, I'm a wife and I'm a mom. I have a 1-year-old. So if something was to happen to either one of my family members, my immediate family members, I'm not thinking about taking leave. Like, are you serious?
Right.
No. We need to do whatever we need to do, whether it's making sure our insurance coverage is good, whether it's making sure our savings is set aside, making sure our money is right so that I can have time to focus on that, and I'm not focused on that and money.
Right.
Think about like this, and I've experienced this myself. Again, not trying to point fingers at anybody, but I'm sure there are a lot of people that can relate. You ever had a loved one to pass away?
Yeah.
And then you watch what the second and third order of effects are in your family when that loved one passes away? Because of money. Now they have the GoFundMe's and all of that stuff. But before the GoFundMe's, people didn't take time to get educated about insurance, or they felt like it's not important, or I don't know, so I just want to avoid it altogether. But then you get into a rut where you need to make sure that your money is straight. And instead of you spending time being able to grieve or do whatever you need to take care of that's important in that moment, you worried about money. So you even more stressed. Like it's sad, but in our community, in the Black community, we just have a hard time with that. And I don't think that it's just I just don't think we know. I think we're starting to learn and get better with that, but we don't know. But having our money together will allow us the time to be able to do some different other things so that we can just grow and flourish as a culture. Like, that's the statistic about our net worth being zero. That sucks. I can't help but laugh, but it sucks that could be the reality. But my goal through having conversations like this with you and continuing to spread the message about number one, the possibility of time freedom and financial freedom and what that can do for you and your family and your legacy. My goal is to continue to educate so that can spread and become the norm. It's not a taboo conversation. It doesn't have to be so emotional. It becomes the norm.
And that is exactly why we have these conversations, because it needs to become the norm. Without education, without knowledge, the people perish, and they need this information. And you are one of the driving forces towards that. And I truly appreciate you. I'm not about to let you just keep spilling all this tea to these people without them knowing, okay? Without them knowing how they can get in touch with you. Do you have any programs, anything coming up so that people can connect with you and get on their path to financial freedom?
Absolutely. So again, my name is Vestria Agee. So that is Vestria. I can be found on Instagram and on Facebook at Hey Vestria. So HeyVestria on Instagram and Facebook. You can catch me there. I go live from time to time and do different segments on financial education, on different savings, budgeting, and planning principles, on money mindset. So if you are on my page, you will see those. And I also have something very special coming up for you guys. I am getting ready to launch my own podcast. So I would love, ma'am, to have you come on so we can continue this conversation. But yes, those are the ways that you can reach me right now at Hey Vestria on Instagram and on Facebook. I have a e-learning store where I sell I call them my fiscal roadmaps, but they are e-learning materials, digital content that teaches you these same tips, tools, and strategies that I use to get debt free. So that's all those things you can find right on my Instagram and my Facebook. The link is right in the bio.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much for coming on. Can't wait for that podcast, girl. I'll be all up on there. I'm gonna be all up on there, girl, because I need that intel. Okay.
Yes. And I have something special for your listeners.
What's up?
When you go to the link in my bio, I have created a digital budget. When you click on that digital budget and you get ready to check out, if you put in a coupon code Test Drive, you will get that digital budget for free. You will get that free, and that's just for your listeners. So y'all go check that out. Go download it. You don't have an excuse about why you don't have a budget, because now you have one.
Listen. Oh, y'all just got a freebie. So for those of y'all that didn't listen to the end, you're bad.
Right.
But ladies, I know that this is a process. It's a process, and it's hard to talk about. We get real uncomfortable when it comes to talking about money, but I'm telling you that these are the conversations that we need to have, and that is why Recrown You is here for you. So I'm going to leave you guys with a quote that I got from Frugal Woods. Don't let your spending prevent you from doing what you want with your life. Rather, let frugality sculpt the life you create. So in the meantime, in between time, ladies, I'll catch y'all next time. It's your girl. You know it's time.